Good morning, everyone. Now we are going to start with the chapter number 2 of new curriculum. Curriculum code is 402, the information technology. Chapter number 2 consisting of the topic which is self-management. We all know that it is an essential part of our life, managing ourselves. This is going to be the session 1 of the chapter. Let's start. Introduction. Our emotion drive our behaviors. When we feel happy and excited, we smile. When we feel sad or fear, we cry. When we feel angry, we might shout. And similarly, the feeling of love make us sacrifice. Emotions control the way we feel, think, and behave unless we watch them. When we react based on the emotions, we happen to believe the way we don't intend it to, or may take decisions we may regret later. In short, we need to control ourselves, manage ourselves in such a situation, exercise self-management. In this session, we shall talk about the same. How we can manage ourselves in an accomplished way. Means we will learn the way we should behave to any kind of a challenges, behave to any kind of a communication, or behave to any kind of a situation. It's not that what we don't intend to accomplish or intend to do, we are doing the same because of our emotions let us do so. So instead of taking the decisions in emotions, we should plan it and work accordingly that we should not regret afterwards. Now let us understand what is a self-management. It is the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors and taking charge of the all aspects of life at physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, and professional levels. Our emotions and behavior led to a better life if expressed in moderation. Negative emotions and behaviors can throw us out of control and lead to a negative long-term impact on our well-being and our relationship with others. This become very evident and important when it comes to our work or career, because having good relations at the workplace is key factor in our success. Here the self-management means managing ourselves and taking charge of all the aspects of the life, balancing the do's and the don'ts, what need to be done, what need to be accomplished, that should be thoughtful and the meaningful, that it can produce better result as per the situation arises. That means better control over the emotions, better control over the actions which is actually taken by us against any activities, better organized means we ourselves should be better organized and we can be ready for any kind of a situation. Better risk management means we should moderate the risk factors. We can analyze and try to control the risk factors that it should not hamper us in such a manner, in that manner, right? We can groom ourselves likewise that anything or any negative impact is unable to, or any negative impact will not be able to destroy us. Now, how we can manage these all by learning different methods, by implementing different techniques to minimize the risk of the life, the minimizing the risk of getting ourselves into a territory where we can only regret. What are the impacts of self-management? The self-management help us to act intentionally. What is intentionally here? Means we can calculate and control our emotions and react back in such a manner that it can bring only positive result. So here what we said, in self-management, we should act intentionally rather than reactively. What is reactively here? Something happens is and you react back immediately. Instead of reacting back immediately, we can calculate and then react back. And that intentions, that should reflect your intentions. I mean, it should work in a way that it should profit, it should bring profit towards you. Do not hamper anything or you do not lose out anything out of it. It enables us to become aware of what makes us tick, thereby helping us to take advantages of our life or of our emotions and becoming more productive. If we will start taking the advantages of our emotions, what will happen? If we will start taking everything whatsoever comes in our brain or in our emotions positively, if our emotions are working in favor of us, what will happen? The things will not go wrong anyway, and it will be kind of a productive for you. People who practice self-management are more organized in life as well as at the workplaces, which means they they prioritize the plan their things, means they first try to execute their own plans and their own things and are more prepared for the seen or unseen situations in the life as well as the work. Means they always try to calculate, if I will do this, something like this might happen, or this, if you will be ready for the situations, what may arise or may not be, then you will be better calculated. And if you are better calculated and you are ready for the situation, if it is worst, then also you can bring positive result, as everything going to be calculated and will be done intentionally by you. So, so you will take the responsibility and the ownership of the actions. These traits make the more desirable and dependable in all areas of their life and work. In short, self-management impacts us in form of these. There are 5 list downs. Let me read them one by one. It helps us have control over negative emotions, behaviors, and habits. It helps us control over our actions so that we do not act in impulse and develop good habits. It helps us to organize. It helps us to take ownership of our efforts, actions, and work. It helps us to take up challenges, and achieve our goals. Self-management skills. Self-management is not a talent that person is born with. It is a set of skills that can be acquired by anybody by putting the time and effort to learn them. It is all about our ability to control our feelings, emotions, and actions. These are some most important, challenging, and learn abilities in our personal as well as professional life, but have the power of remarkably change almost every aspect of life. Stress management. The technique of managing the stress is actually not a single factor by which the stress can be controlled. It is actually mixed of certain activities by which we can control our stress. Likewise, exercise your body. Exercising the body means do routine workouts every day. Enjoy yourself, rest yourself as regularly as possible. Means there should be inclusion of enjoyment in the life with the other aspects of the life, as well as proper rest should be taken by every single individuals to lead our life smoothly, stress free. Go to vacations in regular intervals and take a walk in nature. It's actually very much necessary to take vacations time to time. We should give ourselves a proper modulation of our brain that it can rest and enjoy, similarly as it can work rigorously. Now, what happens is if we take a walk in the nature, it not only gives us fresh breath of air, it actually let us brain rejuvenate as well. Do hobbies means whatever the best you can do or you like, you should do that once in a while to kill the stress, to burst the stress. Next is the self motivation. Find and list your motive, need, and desires. Means here the motives means your needs as well as desire. Find different sources of motivation and inspiration. Likewise, the books or the music, listening of music, or doing some kind of activities which actually self-motivate you. Think expensive thoughts. What is it? Think expensive thoughts means the thoughts which actually cost you more. Live fully in present moment means whatsoever going to be the ground reality, face it there and there. Dare to have big dreams. Dream often, dream often, almost every day. Remember that nothing is impossible till you work against it. Means if you can work towards your goal and if your dedication is purest, if you are working in smart way, you are bound to reach to your goal. Next, time management and organization skill. Set, prioritize your goals. Create schedule. Make list of tasks. Use different optimization tools. Break large tasks into smaller task, means break the larger task in such a step that you can achieve it working upon those steps. Have have healthy lifestyle and balanced diet. It's not only the lifestyle that should be healthy, your diet should be balanced as well to keep a healthy brain live in yours. Healthy eating and physical activities are extremely important when it comes to increasing your mind and body power. Now, not only these, there are so many things which is actually help you in self-managing yourself. Self-awareness. Knowing your own feelings, emotions, and character is called as self-awareness. You should know which kind of a people you are, which kind of a human being or personality you are. Self-commitment. It a promise or pledge to do something and take action. Means you should commit yourself that you are going to accomplish this task in such a manner that it can get better result. Now, the self-control, the ability to restrain yourself in difficult situation is called as self-control. Means you can clearly make a boundary of yours which you will never jump off. Never jump off, right? The self-regulation, setting the standards or rules on yourself which you stick to always, whatever may be the condition, whatever may be the situation, what worst may be happening in your life. Self-confidence, that's the last thing, and that's the final two. Now, trusting your abilities, qualities, judgment, and intuitions, that brings us the self-confidence. Get rid of the negative thoughts in your head, means your mind. Think positively, be happy with small things. Don't do not forget to tell yourself that you are smart and intelligent. Means you should pat your back always whenever you got the chance to pat it. Chat with positive people. Yeah, that's there and there. You have to be very calculated whenever you're meeting someone or you're chatting with someone. That person should not have negative thoughts to inject into your brain. So be selective, choosing the people who are going to sit with you, who are going to discuss with you. Right? That's all for today's session. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Now we are going to start with the chapter number 2 of new curriculum. Curriculum code is 402, the information technology. Chapter number 2 consisting of the topic which is self-management. We all know that it is an essential part of our life, managing ourselves. Session 2, knowing own strength and weaknesses. Let's start. The best knowledge to know the world, to know others, comes by knowing ourselves only. When we know what is our strength, what our weaknesses are, how we can overcome our fear, how we can improve ourselves, and so forth, our growth journey begins and we start achieving big and all fronts. Personal front, professional front, moral front, spiritual front, and so on. Our satisfaction and happiness starts increasing from that time, and our worries and fears start disappearing. And this is what we are going to talk about in this particular session. Let's start. Ourselves. Knowing ourselves means calmly observing ourselves for all our qualities, beliefs, traits, emotions, feelings, behaviors. Knowing oneself takes conscious effort. Means we have to very conscious to observe what are the things that you are doing, what are your qualities, what are your beliefs, what are your traits, what are your emotions which are coming at the time of which kind of a spot, feelings of yours, your behavior in front of others, or maybe towards your own self. In other words, knowing oneself means understanding our strengths, our weaknesses, our dreams and desires, our interest towards anything, our likes and dislikes, our abilities and traits, our tolerance and limitations, our belief and values, our priorities, our relationship, our body, and many other things about ourselves. Means you have to know yourself, whatsoever your reactions are, whatsoever your emotions are in any given point, or in against of any kind of happenings or happens, whatsoever is going, or whatsoever going to be your reactions. Everything is included in knowing ourselves. After knowing our strengths and weaknesses, we need to analyze them. We need to think, what are our strengths? If it is strength, that is means what? That we are already good at it. Means we can achieve, we can do those things very easily, because I am having a strength, I am having so much of quality, I am having my command upon those things. So those going to be my qualities. Now, if we want to leverage our qualities further, means we want to strengthen our strength, that means we need not to do lot many efforts to achieve. Now, in case of a weaknesses, that actually differs, that actually reverses. As we are having weaknesses, the topics which falls under the weaknesses, what are the areas or the gray areas of our understanding, those going to be the weaknesses of us. Now, the weakness is going to hold us back to achieve anything. What we can do, we actually, after calculating the weaknesses, after knowing the weaknesses of ours, we can hence improve them by taking major steps toward improving those weaknesses and develop them as quality of ours, making them as strength of ours. Understanding the both our strength and the weaknesses can help us to realize our real potential. What does it mean? Potential means what we can achieve through them. If I'm not knowing my weaknesses, that means here in these particular topics, in these particular areas, I cannot work with my full potential. If I'm knowing that, that's going to help me to strengthen those points. मतलब मुझे अगर मालूम है कि ये सारे चीजों में मैं बहुत पारंगत नहीं हूं, बहुत एक्सपर्ट नहीं हूं, तो मुझे ये मौका मिलता है कि मेरा पोटेंशियल कहाँ पर है, मैं मेरा ध्यान या मेरा स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट्स क्या क्या है, मैं उस तरफ ज्यादा काम करूंगा या उस तरफ ज्यादा झुकाव होगा मेरा, उस उन चीजों को ज्यादा करूंगा जिस पे मेरा स्ट्रेंथ है। अगर मैं जानता ही नहीं कि मेरा वीकनेस और स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, तो फिर बहुत मुश्किल है किसी भी गोल को अचीव करना या किसी भी गोल को सेट करना। सो it's better to analyze your weaknesses and the strength to get the purposeful, or to get or to know your full potential. Means how you can work, what are the areas where you are having strong command on. After knowing our strengths and the weaknesses and analyzing them, now we have to prepare the list of the strengths and the weaknesses. Both are required. Strength are something that comes naturally to us. We need to take out we need to take out time and think about what comes naturally to us. Maybe someone may be good at staying focused on goals, which mean in spite of distraction in daily routine at work, one can keep the focus on the goal always at the back of the mind. This trait helps in achieving the goals and meeting deadlines. Means whatever the work you might be doing, whatever kind of a workforce you are having, or the task you are having at your workplaces, if you always keep your goals and what are the goals you need to achieve at the back of your mind whenever you are working, you are certainly going to achieve that within the time limit, because you will be aware of what are the things that you need to accomplish and what is your time limitation or what is your limitations for that. One should focus more on strength and take advantages of the same, and side by side make efforts to improve the weaknesses. Why we should focus on the strength more? Because we are already expert of our strengthened areas. But we cannot leave the weaknesses alone, because we need to strengthen those gray areas as well. So we need to work upon them simultaneously. Now, working with our strength does not need too much of investment of our time and effort. If you are expert of something, if that area is your strength, you need not to invest that much of time. Means you will do it with an ease. It is about seeking opportunities rather than the problem. What is your strength? If somebody allocate that kind of a job to you, means it's kind of an opportunity for you. Instead of you'll think that it's going to be a hell of a problem if I'll do this. Means you will feel like, yeah, I got the opportunity to accomplish the task within the time limit, maybe before of it. Dwelling too much on the weaknesses may lead to negativity, low self-esteem, and a decrease in enthusiasm and overall performance. Means if you will dwell upon the weaknesses too much, what will happen? What will, if you will stress that? That will lead to negativity. Means you will not able to do the things in proper time, or you will not able to manage the things properly, and that will take you towards the negativity, or your overall performance may suffer. So we need to avoid those gray areas, those problematic areas, those negative areas of ours. Though working on uh, on our gray areas or our less potential areas contribute to, or it strengthens our personal growth. Means if my gray areas will be converted into our strengthened areas, then what will happen? My overall personality will groom properly. Means I will be almost expert of everything. To find out about the strengths and the weaknesses, we need to carefully observe ourselves with an unbiased view. And the same time, we should not feel bad about your weaknesses or our weaknesses. Means to find out what are the areas where we are having literally grip on, and what are the areas where we are not having that much of a confidence. Those are actually analyzing, or rather finding out by carefully observing ourselves, the strength and the weakness areas. Now, as we feel proud we are having a strong hold upon these areas, we should not feel bad about the areas where we are having the weaknesses. We should have a kind of a tolerance there. We should think positively that these may be my weaknesses, but we will try to overcome step by step on those, or we will try to learn the things which need to make those weaknesses as strengthen or strength of ours. Rather just behave like calm, observe, and then create two lists, one containing your strength and one containing your weaknesses. Means we need to prepare two lists simultaneously, one for the list of strengthened areas and one for the weaknesses. People use it to hide the weakness areas or the areas where they use it to weak. No, don't do that. Be unbiased to yourself. Write down the area where you are having stronghold, as well as write down the areas where you are having real-time weaknesses. You're having not that strong of a hold there, right? Mm, you can see we can create this kind of a list of our strength and the weaknesses. Clearly, you can see all the strengthened part is listed in the strength listing, and the weakness part is listed in the weakness listing. The strength, like I am very athletic, action oriented, um, very much courageous, disciplined, energetic. These are the positive words, or these are basically strength of mind. And in the weaknesses, it's written as aggressive, close-minded, uh, ignorant, intensive, whatever maybe you self-align yourself, you actually self-analysis yourself and check out the words or check out your strength and the weaknesses and list like this. Okay, we are just moving ahead now for the next topic. Upon next, we need to identify our interest areas and the abilities of ours. Means there we identified our strengthened areas and the weaknesses. Here we need to identify our interest and abilities. Means what are the things which is actually a kind of a, I am having kind of an interest upon that, and I am able to do certain works with an ease. That's my ability. So we need to understand or identify that as well. Now, what is the abilities of ours? The abilities are the natural strength that comes easily to us without making special effort, without making any extra effort. Now, what is the matter of interest to us? The interests are the activities that we enjoy doing. These gives us immense satisfaction. Means whenever we do any kind of a work which is of our interest, we use it to have immense satisfaction out of it. If somebody loves to sing, if they will sing for an hour, that use it to give that person immense satisfaction. We all are born with some natural strength. These inherited strengths are also known as abilities of ours. So, our ability is something that comes naturally to us. Like the listening skills are one such ability. Similarly, the quick grasping power is another example of ability. Abilities are also sometimes termed as skill sets of ours. In fact, the words skill and ability are often used in interchangeably. Now, the interest, on the other hand, are the things or the activities you enjoy. The interest capture your attention and you try to fulfill it by doing it. Doing or work on your interest gives you ample of enjoyment and satisfaction. Interest arouse your curiosity and desire to learn more about it. One may have interest in various fields. One may enjoy cooking at home while also loves to go long rides, and one may like adventure sports and paint at home. Somebody might like singing too. Identifying your interests and abilities help you to make decisions easily in specific areas such as your career goals. In order to identify your interests and abilities, make a list of interests and abilities as you did something and for your strength and the weaknesses. The fill two columns and the sample interest and abilities list below them. Now, how you will do so? Previously, as we did with the list of items which is listed one after another, then these are my strength and part and these are my weaknesses. So similarly, we will list down the topics or the interest areas of ours as well as the abilities of ours. Let's see how to list down the interest and abilities. Previously, as we did so, you can see like the interest areas are listed one after another, and the areas which I am powerful of, or you can rather say the abilities of R is also listed in two different lists. Uh, First, let's see what are the things mentioned in the book as an interest area of any normal person. Right? The art, the traveling, the drama, the ideas, reading, maybe somebody's interest area. So if somebody will get the job or make the career, what is their interest? Means if somebody love to do painting, if they will become a designer or painter, or rather you can say graphic artist or something like that, animation artist, then what will happen? They will get a kind of a ease in their work because as those things are the interest within the interest areas of that particular person, that person can give 100% of the strength and make the full potential of their abilities and get the success very easily. Now, what's going to be the trade-off with the abilities then? One can have different or multiple abilities or skill sets. Like one mentioned below, just see that teamwork, fast learning, thinking skills, being good at using words, using equipment and machineries, animal handling skills, means These are what? Special abilities. These are the abilities one can have in, or the skill sets one can have inside of them. If they will get the opportunities to perform in accordance to their abilities, they can give the best of their efforts and can achieve the goal very easily, can perform the task very easily. So it's better understanding the interest areas and the abilities of ours before choosing our profession. Once you have identified your interest and abilities, you can easily take decisions about the things that require both of these, such as you may pick up common areas for the crucial decisions such as your career goals. Means if you will be within your interest and ability areas, you can perform better than the other areas. So it's better to choose our career options or our goals in accordance to our interests and the abilities. So that's the end of the session 2. We will meet once again in session number 3.